So Sasha Johnson, black equal rights activist in critical condition after being shot in the head in South London. So this was 2 days ago, this news broke. So as you can see her there with her beret and her Palestine flag on her side there, the body armor she wears. This is her get-up. And she was out and about and got shot in the head. So in case someone's watching who's been drinking paint thinner or something, this is horrible and I hope she recovers. But we don't have a duty to censor the truth, so I'm going to lay out why she is famous, regardless of your feelings on it, because that's what's true. So the thing she is most famous for is from some pretty disgusting comments that I massively disavow. So the first one here is just the thing that got her banned from Twitter, apparently. So this is her Twitter account tweeting, "The white man will not be our equal, but the slave. History is changing. No justice, no peace. Hashtag BLM. Hashtag Brixton. Hashtag BLM UK." So, yeah. So the next one here is a video of her in which she was invited to, I think this is Lord Voldemort's house, British Voldemort, and he was hosting a debate about BLM. I don't know the full details of it. But she turned up to give the BLM argument, being a representative of BLM UK, and was really rotten to the other side of the argument. So if we go to the first video, she just starts calling the other guy a coon. Let's play.
Why do you think kneeling on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds would kill him?
I can show you a video now.
That's a legal hold, by the way.
I'll show you.
Listen, you just need to shut up, man. You're a coon. You just need to shut up.
Get angry some more and threaten me some more.
Get angry and threaten you some more?
Yeah.
I promise you. I don't threaten you. I promise you.
Promise, okay.
So come out there. Let's live through the promise. Come out there, let's live through the promise.
Come on.
Come out there and we'll live through the promise. I can promise you now.
Come on.
Come out there and we live it through.
Okay, dude.
You're a coon. Dude, what? What do you mean? Because I'm a girl, you think I'm gonna f you up?
Come on, man.
Because I'm a girl.
We're here to
You're here to drive this side out to make it look like all black people are ignorant. Yeah, I'm angry right now because of what's going on. It's made me angry, yes. Just like when he was angry when he thought that his town was being destructed, his city statues were going down. I'm angry too.
Of course you're angry.
Yeah, so why are you calling me dude? What does the dude mean?
And you also
what does the dude mean?
You don't believe stats and facts
what does the dude mean?
It's recorded.
So what does the dude mean? What does the dude mean?
We do, I'll be honest.
How am I? You're what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We're what you are what we're dealing with.
Overly emotional, angry, quick to violence.
Are you calling a black woman angry? You're a coon.
Yeah, I mean,
it's absurd. Yeah,
that got 16 million views or something like that. So that's why I'm mentioning it. These are the things she is famous for. So then the next thing is obviously her response to the race report. So the race report from the Conservative government showing that there was no racial discrimination within the systems of the British government, and she responded by saying that they need hanging, these house Negroes. Yeah. So if you scroll down, there's the post in and of itself. I think it's on Instagram or something, because of course she's banned from Twitter. And then you can see here her posting. So she says that these kinds of house Negroes they send to take down the movement, and someone says we have them in America, and she responds that they need hanging. Yeah.
What a horrible woman.
Yeah, I mean, really, really rotten personality. I mean, not to justify the fact that she's been shot, obviously, but it's just, this is what she is famous for. And a lot of people are thinking, well, you know, she's very, outspoken. I'll be charitable. Therefore, you know, maybe it was some white anti-BLM guy who went down and shot her. And you can see from the reporting, that is what her party and her organization tried to put out. So if we can go to the next link, this is Russia Today here, and I've clipped a little bit of them laying out what the argument is from her party. So let's play the first clip here.
50 people have gathered not only to show their support in terms of her recovery, but also to take a stand against what they call as senseless and reckless violence. Throughout the last 60 minutes or so, we've been hearing chants like no justice, no peace. But to make matters worse, the political party that Sasha is a member of, that's the Taking the Initiative Party, claimed that actually she was gunned down after numerous threats as a result of her activism.
And Russia Today there are reporting the facts. Her party did try to claim this. So if we go to the next link, there's an Instagram link from her party. And you can read in there that they say, the attack happened in the early hours of this morning, following numerous death threats as a result of her activism. So her organization trying to play out that, yeah, she's been given death threats and then she's been shot, she's in critical condition, must be, I don't know, the far right or something. So if we go to the next one as well, this is BLM UK posting in solidarity, I guess. Any attempt to intimidate or silence her is an attack on all of us. Touch one, touch all. We pray that she will pull through this, and those who threatened her life are held accountable. Our thoughts and prayers are with her children, family, and impacted by this senseless attack. certainly those who've done this should definitely be held accountable. So if we go to the next one as well, then the MP started chiming in. So this is former Labour MP. She's been kicked out. I think it was from lying to the police or something. God knows. Don't know. I can't remember. So Claudia Webb, shocking to hear that the gunshots into the head of Sasha Johnston. All women should feel safe. Sorry, all women should be safe on our streets. Sure, they should be safe. Wishing her a full recovery, sending her love and solidarity to her family, friends, and loved ones. There are still too many guns and violent weapons damaging to many lives. Hashtag BLM. Bit tepid. She didn't do the silly thing of what Diane Abbott did. So if we go to the next one, there's Diane Abbott. This is still up. I don't know why she hasn't taken this down. Black activist hashtag Sasha Johnson in hospital in critical condition after sustaining a gunshot wound to the head. Nobody should have to potentially pay with their life because they stood up for racial justice. Hashtag BLM.
So she's drawing the line actively there, saying that she was shot because of what she was advocating for before anyone actually knew the motivation for it, if I remember rightly. Because I remember when this actually went on, everyone was speculating what had happened because no one had actually found out yet. And she seemed to already be like, yes, it was because of her racial justice advocacy.
Yeah,
apparently.
I mean, we saw this story yesterday, and you do the wise thing of just shut up, wait for the facts. It's that easy. It's not even hard. If something happens, just wait for the facts. It's not difficult. So, no, we have the facts now. So, her organisation, Diane Abbott, trying to say that it was definitely because of her activism. It seems, no, it seems it absolutely was not. So, we go to the next link here. There's this reporting, her friend who went on BBC and gave evidence that, no, they resorted to driving past and shooting into the garden. One of those shots hit Sasha. Gang violence. Gang violence in London.
So, yeah, she was like collateral damage to someone else being targeted, right? It wasn't even intentional that they shot her. It was just that she was in the wrong place. But
yeah, her organisation said it's because of death threats, or alluded it to being death threats. I mean, Diane Abbott being the worst there, just saying no one should be shot for their beliefs. She wasn't, so why lie? Politics, I guess. Just want to push Marxist agenda. So again, the next one, the responses from those Labour MPs have been pathetic. So Claudia Webb trying to claw back and be like, hang on, no, this is still about Whitey. How are you going to get the big brain take? The black community are not responsible for the manufacture, importation, or distribution of firearms. A black man shoots black girl, white man did this. I mean, it's just pathetic.
It's the gun's fault, didn't you know? It's the evil white man giving them the guns. It's clearly the problem.
Yeah, there's no what to say about Claudia. Claudia, go to hell. So let's go to the next one, which is I think the report here from the Times saying that, yeah, Black Rights activist Sasha Johnson shot by 4 men in Peckham. So it's not that she, I don't know, was just walking around or something. Weirdly, they say in here that 4 men were involved in the shooting of the leading black rights activist. Scotland Yard said this morning. Sasha Johnson was shot in the head after 4 black males dressed in dark clothing stormed the garden in the house in Peckham, southwest London, officers said. Police said there was currently no evidence to suggest that it was a targeted shooting. No evidence. So there's no, evidence of them making a threat beforehand or whatever. It's just gangs. It's just gangs being gangs. In London. Held by Sadiq Khan. For how many years now? How many more years? Wonderful. So Diane Abbott, being the snake that she was, she tried to defend this. So she went on LBC, and Ian Dale, who I think is an alright guy, to be honest, he did a good job of challenging her on this and saying, look, you should have kept your mouth shut like any sensible person, and instead you went mouthing off about how, no, this is definitely because of politics. You absolute scum. So what's Diane Abbott's response to this? Well, I might be wrong, but at least I'm black. I'm not joking. Let's play the clip.
Haven't you actually inflamed racial divides by tweeting something when you hadn't done your homework?
And if you raise issues of race and you're accused of inflaming tensions, that doesn't really get us anywhere fast. This woman is a mother. She had a bullet in the head. We need to take that seriously, not try and deride people who mention it.
You are creating a division there when you don't know that that's true.
No, I think it is so wrong to accuse people of colour who raise issues in relation to race of somehow inflaming feelings. We don't know, actually, whether it was a gangland killing. It may have been that she randomly took a bullet, but we don't know for certain. Nobody's saying
exactly,
certain.
Which is why you shouldn't have tweeted what you did.
But when you accuse people of colour of inflaming feelings because you raise issues about race, as I say, that doesn't take us anywhere.
Where's it meant to take us? What do you mean? Like, he's pointing out that you've lied. You told a lie. You told a falsehood. And he's like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. And you even ended up agreeing with him in there, saying yes, yes. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, but that doesn't take us where we need to be. So what? The truth is what is important, not your Marxist agenda of where we need to be. But just utterly pathetic and disgusting that she can go out on national radio, say that. I mean, I would just kicked her from the party immediately if I was Keir Starmer. For just
Absolutely,
that, I mean, never mind all the 2 left feet stuff she's done throughout the years.
She's absolutely useless, isn't she? I can't believe that people actually voted for her. It's, as well, like, just saying, oh, well, you can't criticise me because I'm a person of colour, but I lied.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great.
I may have lied, but don't worry, I'm black. What? Like, that's not an argument. It's just, don't worry, if I'm black, I'm allowed to lie. Diane Abbott, vote Labour.
Even a child comes up with a better argument than that. It's ridiculous.
It's just one thing in a long list of Diane Abbott's stupid moments, but that one's particularly horrible for me. Because it's just openly, yes, I'm a liar, but at least I'm black. It's pathetic. Anyway, so that's not the only piece of nonsense surrounding all this. So, of course, her being an activist for BLM, there was some other BLM stuff over the weekend and whatnot. So this is Norwich City Council here, saying that the City Hall will be lit up in yellow, pink and turquoise tomorrow evening to commemorate the 1st anniversary of the death of George Floyd.
What's it got to do with Norwich?
Norwich, England.
Was he a big fan of Norwich City Football Club or something? Like,
they had all the jerseys or visited on occasion? No. Nah, just the people in Norwich really wanted this. So, just to mention, this would have been at the same time they're celebrating this, well, memorialising. It would have been the 8th year anniversary of the Lee Rigby beheading. So they could have done that, didn't do that, did George Floyd instead. Could have done the 4-year anniversary of the Manchester Arena bombing. Didn't do that, did George Floyd instead. Because he's got much more impact on the people of Norwich. Pathetic, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You just look at the political breakdown of this particular council and you get your answer. 27 Labour councillors, 8 Green, 3 Lib Dem, 1 Independent. Labour controlled.
Well, you get what you vote for then.
Yeah, they'll spend your money celebrating George Floyd, a man who has nothing to do with your town. Why? Because virtue signal. And they're not the only one either. Rochdale Council apparently also did the same thing. So they're lighting up the thing here. Rochdale. Has to be Rochdale as well, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah.
For people who don't know, it's one of the towns that's most known for basically being a hive of grooming gangs. So, of course, they're virtue signalling endlessly because, I mean, why deal with actual issues? So one of the members of the Norwich City Council decided to go on the radio and try to defend this. Presumably, the Green Party were the one that brought this up, or members of the Labour Party. Either way, they all voted on it and agreed to it. And she tried to argue in here that it was the right thing to do to to memorialise George Floyd's death by putting up lights in Norwich, as if his family even give a toss or anything. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. But also that she kind of got BTFO'd by the host here, pointing out that, well, you're saying this is all about systemic racism and whatnot, but there was no racial aspect to the George Floyd case. I mean, it's just a lie. It is a huge lie that's been perpetuated throughout the entire Anglosphere and beyond, that death was all about race. Wasn't mentioned in the court case, wasn't mentioned in the documents, because there was no aspect of it. It was a nada, it was a fiction.
It's only because people were screeching about race that anyone's even paid any attention to that aspect at all. It wasn't relevant to the court case, so they didn't even really mention it that much, did they, in the actual court proceedings? No. Because they knew it was a dead end. They weren't going to get anywhere with that.
It's a transparent dead end. I mean, as this guy points out later on, but we'll get into this one now. So this is the Green Councillor getting BTFO'd.
Well, sadly, George Floyd is not alone in having been murdered by the police. What makes him unique or almost unique is having been filmed being murdered. And so my thoughts go out to everyone who's been bereaved and who is grieving. But another thing that died on that day is the ability of people not affected by racism to imagine that to deny the systemic racism that allows such events to happen.
What's racism got to do with it? This was nothing to do with racism, Leslie.
Sorry, George Floyd's murder was everything to do with racism.
No, it wasn't. There was no racist component to it at all.
I would dispute that. In whose world is it okay to
it's true.
To treat anybody like that?
Well, it's not okay to treat anybody, but the issue is whether there was a racist element. If you look at the court papers and follow the case, there was no. This wasn't a racist murder; it was a murder. There wasn't a racist element to it whatsoever. There was no accusation of it or no suggestion of it.
You ask any
you didn't know
family
that, did you?
Where kids. You ask any family where kids are taught to keep their heads down and avoid trouble from the police.
Yeah.
Any family where they're frightened to call the police when they're in danger.
Sorry, what's the point?
What are you talking about? She had absolutely no argument to counter anything he said there, which is just that there is no evidence of racism in this court case, and you know it. So, and that's why she had to just be like rattling on about God knows what. So that's the people who run our country. That's the people who runs Norwich City Council there, one of the councillors. These are the people you're dealing with. You meet them in the streets, I mean, you'd be expecting them to selling pencils or something, not in any positions of power ever. But good God. And he also highlights the fact that this is definitely not a racist murder, in case you don't know, you've also been drinking paint thinner and think it still is, by pointing out that exactly the same circumstances happened to a guy in 2016. He was white. So, no care, because why would you? There's no Marxist agenda to push on the lines of race there, is there? So, again, it's obviously not about race, but let's play this one.
You're importing a story that never actually happened from America. You're not alone, by the way. It's not you. The American president joined in with this hysteria as well by pretending it was a racially motivated crime when it absolutely wasn't. But of course, there are other people. 500 white people have died since 2020 at the hands of the police in America. Twice the number of blacks that have died. Now, I know there's a percentage difference in terms of population. There's also a criminal difference in that same percentage as well. I mean, do we look and are we going to have a day in Norwich for Tony Timper? I doubt you even know who Tony Timper is.
Would you like to tell me?
He's a white guy that died under almost the same circumstances as George Floyd. In 2016 in Dallas, he could hardly breathe, he said. 30 times he called out for his life before he took his last breath. Nobody lit up a town hall in Norwich for him.
It's a great point.
It is a great point, yeah.
And she's not gonna. Because there's the fundamental argument about all of this, which has not got anything to do with race. Never did. The argument in the court case was about whether or not Derek Chauvin had acted properly or not. And his defense, as we've illustrated many times, literally just pointed to police documents saying, this is the hold you tell us to use, that's the hold I used. And the jury just didn't believe him, I guess, and then voted for him being guilty on all counts. And that's that. That's what it's about. There was no accusation of racism in the courtroom. There was no attempt to even mention it or bring it up, because they knew it was a dead end, as you say. Great way of putting it. Dead end. Anyway, so how is this playing? How is all this stuff kind of playing for the left? Well, if you look at the latest polling in the UK, Conservatives 46%, Labour 28%.
The rate this is going, the Conservatives are going to be like double that of Labour.
I mean, it literally is just a one-party state
yeah.
at this point. But not because of unpopularity of the Conservatives and their corrupt practices or something. No, just Labour is that bad. They're just that much of a waste of space. Love to see it. 28%. You're not even polling in the 30% anymore. Good God. Like, didn't UKIP have almost that at one point? Like, I swear they had, like, what was it, like 20% or something?
It was something close. It might have been something like 21. That's the figure that comes to my head, but I might just be misremembering. But
sorry.
It's getting to that level, isn't it, a little bit?
It's like 18 points behind. I also love the whole argument you see from the... I've got sympathy with the Corbynistas on this point, in which they're like, oh, if, people would argue, if you get rid of Corbyn, we'll be 10 points ahead of the Conservatives. And then they're like, oh, we'd be 10 points ahead, would we? Look at us, we're 18 points behind. And they're like, yeah, but you're kind of missing the point here. Like, no, the whole party's ruined. Everything there, like, to the right base of the activists, everything is rotten in the Labour Party. And to demonstrate this, I mean, you look at all that, the lights being put up and all that nonsense. Well, what's the Labour Party doing today? Just out of interest. You go to the next link? Labour Party. Twitter account. George Floyd's murder sparked a global movement from Minneapolis to Manchester to Mile. Just kill me. Just kill me. Like, they're just going on about George Floyd for God knows what reason. Hashtag BLM. They learn nothing. They never will learn anything. They're a pointless organisation. They deserve to live in the grave. They don't deserve to be anywhere near politics. I mean, look at the kind of people they bring out as well. I mean, like, doing the lights and whatnot. Good God.
It's all virtue signalling in the UK, because it's not there's a problem here. Like, sure, there's lots of black crime, but there's no one really being killed. Sure, it happens very rarely.
But that's the point, which is like you can argue about the fact that, oh, BLM in the UK, blah 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 blah, and then the lady that's most known for being the face of BLM in the UK gets shot. Who by? Racist cop? No. By a far right activist? No. Black gang. I mean, it really is just like something out of a fictional universe where you're writing it in a way that makes BLM look the most ridiculous. But no, it's just modern Britain. That's just how things are. Aye, that's all.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.